Hare Krishna. Thank you so much all for coming and joining for Srimad Bhagavatam class. Let's start with Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava कुंज विहारी जय राधा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जना यशोदानन्दन जन यमुना तीरावनचारि यमुना तीरावनचारि यमुना तीरावनचारि यमुना तीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधे जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल Lord Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you everyone for joining today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today's morning verse is from Canto 3, chapter 33, verse number 4, verse number 14. Um, So, chapter 3, Canto 3, 33, 14. अभीक्ष्णवागः कपिशान् विक्षवागः कपिशान् जातिलान् कुटिलालकान् कुटिलालकान् आत्मनां को आत्मनां चोग्रतपसा विभा विभर्ति चिरीनां कृष्णां चिरीनां विभर्ति चिरीनां कृशाम् अभीक्ष्णवागः कपिशान् जातिलान् कुटिलालकान् आत्मनां चोग्रतपसः बिभ्रति चिरीनां कृशाम् अभीक्ष्णवाग्रः कपिशान् जटिलान् कुटिलालकान् आत्मनां चोग्रतपसा बिभ्रति चिरीनां कृशाम् अभीक्ष्णवागः कपिशान् जटिलान् कुटिलालकान् आत्मनां चोग्रतपसा बिभ्रति चिरीनां कृशाम्. Word to word translation. Abhikshna again and again. Avagaha by bathing. Kapishan grey. Jatilan matted. Kutilan curled. Alakan hair. Atmanam her body. Cha and Ugra tapasa by severe austerity. Vibhrati became Chirinam clothed in rags, clothed in rags, Krasam thin. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. She began to bathe 3 times daily, and thus her curling black hair gradually became grey. Due to austerity, her body gradually became thin, and she wore old garments. Purport. Purport. Yeah. In the practice of the in the practice of the yogi, brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyasi to bathe at least 3 times daily, early in the morning, during noontime, and in the evening. These principles are strictly followed even by some grahasthas, especially brahmanas, who are elevated in spiritual consciousness. Devahuti was a king's daughter and almost a king's wife also. Although Kardama Muni was not a king, by his yogic mystic power, he accommodated Devahuti very comfortably in a nice palace with maid servants and all opulence. But since she had learned austerity even in the presence of her husband. There was no difficulty for her to be austere. Still, because her body underwent severe austerity after the departure of her husband and son, she became thin. To be too fat is not very good for spiritually advanced life. Rather, one should reduce because if one becomes fat, it is an impediment to progress in spiritual understanding. One should be careful not to eat too much, sleep too much, or remain in comfortable position. Voluntarily accepting some penances and difficulties, one should take less food and less sleep. These are the procedure for practicing any kind of yoga, whether bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, or hatha yoga. Once again, the translation for this verse is: she began to bathe 3 times daily, and thus her curling black hair gradually became grey. Due to austerity, her body gradually became thin, and she wore old garments. Will recite Mangalacharan prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुकुं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरोन् दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम् परमानंदम माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please bless me that I can glorify Srimad Bhagavatam even with my limited and fallen consciousness. Hare Krishna. So today's verse, Prabhupada is speaking in the purport about the austerity, importance of austerity. So we have we know that dharma stands on the four pillars: tapas, socham, daya, and satyam. So here today, by looking at Devahuti's lifestyle after Kapila Muni left, she used to bathe 3 times daily, and she used to do severe austerity. And obviously she was very merciful, and she was very truthful. So she is following the principle of dharma: tapas, socham, daya, satyam. This is the difference between humans and animals. What is the main activity of animal? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So humans should come above these four activities. Srila Prabhupada is speaking that we should eat less, we should try to eat less, and try to sleep less. So eating and sleeping, the main two activities which animals perform, we have to overcome those activities. And how can we overcome those activities? How can we do tapasya? What kind of tapasya we should do? When I hear the word tapasya and austerity, so many, so many personalities come to my mind. First, Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Vishwamitra Muni, and now then comes Mother Devahuti, Pandavas, and then so many other, our Avanti Brahmana, so many, Dhruv Maharaj. So many personalities have performed tapasya, austerity, but few, but some of them perform austerity for their own body, for their own ego, for their own self. But some of them have performed austerity for the pleasure of Krishna, for getting bhakti, for going forward in their spiritual life. When we perform austerity for our own self, for our own ego, for our own pleasure, that austerity will lead you to becoming more and more contaminated by at least one or all the six kind of impurities. Either you will be more egoistic, or you will be more lusty, or you will become more pride, or you will be whatever other three. But if the same austerity, if you perform for progressing in bhakti and for the pleasure of Krishna, all the six contaminations will go away. Instead of increasing those six contamination, all the six contamination will slowly go away. We have seen in the example of Dhruv Maharaj, that Dhruv Maharaj wanted in anger, and he performed austerity for Lord, and his anger was vanished. And then we have seen Diti performing austerity for Lord for 1 year, and then gave birth to Marudgans. And by end of her austerity, all her hatred towards demigods was gone, because it was for, without her knowledge, she was performing devotional service. So, and then we have seen Hiranyakashipu performing austerity, and not to Lord, to Brahma. And because of that, no, his all the impurities remained, and it also increased. We have seen Ravana performing austerity. Because of that, his lust, greed increased instead of getting decreased. We have seen, and we are seeing Mother Devahuti performing austerity. We have seen Kardama Muni performing austerity. We have seen Prishni performing austerity. So there we have seen before, Mother Devahuti was already pure devotee, but in between, she had a desire to enjoy material life, and Kardam Muni fulfilled it. But again, when Kapila Muni had taken birth, and associating with Kapila Muni, all her ignorance, whatever was there, was destroyed. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopijan Vallabh Nitai Pati Pavan Jagat Rishi Prabhupada. All her ignorance was destroyed, and now she's performing austerity for progressing in bhakti. So this is very important. There are many kinds of austerity: austerity by mind, austerity by words, austerity by body, many kind of austerity. But in each tapasya we have to put Krishna in the center. Whatever activity we have to put Krishna in center. Anyways, we have to eat, whether too much or very less, we have to eat. If we eat for our body, if we eat for our own pleasure, then even eating very less is also binding, it's also contaminated. If we eat sufficiently, not too much, at least sufficiently, for the pleasure of Krishna, so that we can perform his service, then that will be liberating. That is the austerity. I'm speaking about myself. When I I see prasad and I start eating, somehow when I see prasad, at least for a second, I know it is for Krishna. But when I start eating and enjoying it, Krishna goes away from my mind, and I start relishing for my own body. But because it is prasad, it will it will not contaminate me. It will always, somehow or other, it will take me out of the bonds of this material world. But if I have right consciousness, then the progress will be very fast. We have seen Sanat Kumar, just by smelling tulsi, charan tulsi, they they became devotee. From Brahman platform, they came to Bhakti platform, just in split of second, just by smelling tulsi, charan tulsi. So if we eat prasad with that at mood just once, so what will be our situation? We will be all, we should be every time at that platform of bhakti and pure devotional service. But because I have so much contamination, I think prasad has food. That is why that progress is very slow. It's there, but it's slow. So that is austerity. If that kind of austerity, if you do, if you see Krishna in all your activity, if you put Krishna in all your put Krishna in the center in all your activity, then that will become sweet austerity. You will not even feel that you are being very, very austere. For example, your son or your daughter, your children are suffering whole night with fever, are having some pain. Parents have no, they don't have any complaint to stay awake and take care of their kids. That is one kind of austerity, but they are happy doing that austerity because they are very concerned of their kid. They are willing to leave. They are willing to skip their lunch, their dinner, their breakfast, only to take care of their kids. So that is austerity. Because they have so much love and affection, they are able to perform that austerity without any complaints, and they don't even realize that they are doing that austerity. Similarly, but that is but if they keep for the same thing, if they keep Krishna in the center, they take care of their kids when they are sick. In that kind of austerity, keeping Krishna in the center, thinking that this is Krishna's given kid, I have to take care of these kids, and they will become good devotee. Looking at look somehow they will become good devotee looking at other people example. Then if you think that this is Krishna's given kids and I have to take care, that austerity is also this austerity also making you to go forward in bhakti. So this is what we have to do. And austerity, we cannot skip austerity. Austerity is give me 1 minute, sorry. Sorry. So so austerity we cannot skip. If you want to progress in bhakti, any kind of yoga, that is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. You have to perform austerity. And Srila Prabhupada is saying these are the procedures for practicing any kind of yoga. And what are the procedures? Voluntarily accepting some penance and difficulties, such as eating less food and sleeping less. That is why this Ekadashi is designed in such a way to progress in bhakti. We have heard many times in Ekadashi time, whatever you do, it will be multiplied. If you chant, it will be multiplied by million times. And that is why, because Ekadashi, everybody is doing austerity. Everybody is voluntarily fasting, and they are also voluntarily not sleeping, doing jagrans. And in by performing that austerity, when they are doing devotional service, their bhakti is increasing many folds only for only just performing that 1 day. And also there is a benediction from Krishna that whoever does anything, any devotional activity on Ekadashi, it will be very pleasing to him. So they are both related. Because of the austerity, when they perform devotional service, they are getting so much benefit. So that is the reason Austerity cannot be taken out of the devotional service, but we can, without our knowledge, without the struggle, we can perform austerity if we put Krishna in the center. We have seen so many examples in the past that many Bilbamangala Thakur voluntarily, because his eyes were trouble for him, he plucked his eyes. That is very extreme austerity he did. And then he went to Vrindavan, stayed alone, and then just performed devotional service without knowing how will he get food, without knowing who will take care of him. He just performed devotional service. And Krishna used to come and give him milk, used to come and hear his chanting, hear his singing for Krishna. So that is that kind of austerity for the pleasure of Krishna he did, and he and Krishna was very pleased, and then he went back to Godhead. Not only Vilba Mangalata, so many, so all you see any personality in Srimad Bhagavatam, everybody have performed some or the other austerity for the pleasure of Krishna. For example, again, our Avanti Brahmana was very miser. He was he Because of him, so many people were not happy. So he was doing aparadh daily. One day, by the arrangement of material nature, he lost all his wealth, and by the mercy of the Paramatma in his heart, he started performing devotional service. And he did not had so food to eat. He did not had anything. Whenever he used to get some food, people used to come and urinate in his plate. So that kind of that was his situation. But he never he but he never felt that he's going through so much trouble because he was performing devotional service, and he took up that austerity for the pleasure of Krishna. And instead of blaming on karma and all, he was blaming on his mind. And then he was performing that he was very happy in whatever situation he was, without any complaints, performed devotional service and went back to Godhead. What to speak of going back to Godhead? Krishna is speaking about him. To whom? To Uddhava. So that is very pleasing to Krishna. That is why Krishna is speaking about him. We Why to go so far? If we just go 500 years ago, we see our six Goswamis, Raghunath Das Goswami, who used to perform so much austerity for not for his body, for the pleasure of Krishna, because he did not even feel that he have to waste his time in eating. He was very happy performing devotional service, and that did not even felt make him feel that, oh, he was hungry, oh, he should eat something. He could have stayed without eating for years, but only not to get name and fame. He just drank some buttermilk once in a week, that to one spoon. So he was very he because he was eating in spiritual world. We have this example that he ate so much sweet rice because he was performing austerity here. He could able to meditate and he could able to take part in the activities happening in spiritual world, and he did not even feel the need to eat here because he was eating in the spiritual world. With whom? With Krishna and with other gopis and manjaris. So when we do volunteer austerity at in our body, when we are in this body, and that too for whom? For the pleasure of Krishna and spiritual master, not for pleasure of our body, for our ego, then we will get the mercy of Krishna and spiritual master. Like how Mother Devahuti got the mercy of Kapila Muni, and even though she was mother of Kapila Muni, who is supreme personality of Godhead, still she performed austerity for the pleasure of the Lord. So what to speak of us if we, and Srila Prabhupada very mercifully he made this process very easy. He said you don't have to, if you are eating prasad, that is your austerity. But at one point, Srila Prabhupada also said that at one point you should reduce eating and reduce sleeping and focus more on bhakti. This stage is for someone who have gone very far in their spiritual life. That's what it is said in the purport, that if for spiritually advanced life, if you want to if you want to spiritually advance in the life in spiritual life, then you have to perform this kind of at least these two things, eating less and sleeping less. But then Prabhupada also said that for neophyte devotees, especially like me, it might not be possible. If you start doing that kind of severe austerity, either you will leave the process or you will become proud, like how Ravana and Hiranyakashipu had become. So we have to do it for the pleasure of Krishna. That should be our goal. But when you are when you are not that much advanced in bhakti, you might you might not able to do it for Krishna. You will able to do it for the body maybe. We have seen so many people, even in this current time outside, they do so much austerity. For example, they'll go to gym and they will eat very calculated calories, and they don't want to and this and many CEOs sleep very less for making their company go more further and further in the top position. So they do so much austerity, but what is the use? If there is no Krishna in the center, whatever austerity they are performing, they will not able to, even if they get that thing, they'll not able to enjoy it. Either their health will go bad, or by the time they reach to that position, they would have their goals must have been changed or whatever. Because it is even we have seen Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, they were performing so much severe austerity and they got whatever they want. But still one something was there which did not make them happy. For Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad Maharaj did not listen to him. Even though he had everything, he was not happy. For Ravana, because he was lusty, he was always unsatisfied with whatever he had. So even though he had everything, he was not happy. So the main goal of doing performing austerity is to some or the other reduce our six contaminations of the heart, and that can only be done if we are performing these austerities for the pleasure of Krishna and Guru. If we are doing it for our body, it is not possible, and that will bind us in the cycle of birth and death. Maybe because of our good austerity, we will get some good karma. We might go to demigod. We'll go to heavenly planets, enjoy there, and come back here to suffer again. and again we'll do some good or bad activities. Accordingly, we'll go and enjoy or suffer. The best example is our Dhritarashtra Maharaj. Dhritarashtra, in his past life, 50 years or 100 years ago, I don't remember exact number, 50 lifetimes or 100 lifetimes ago, he was a hunter, and he killed that 100 birds and blinded this father. And then next 50 or 100 lifetimes, he did very nice uh, pious activities without his knowledge that whatever pious activities he's doing now is the cause of his suffering in his future life. Maybe in one lifetime he must have done severe austerity. Maybe in one lifetime he must have donated so much food to poor. Maybe in one lifetime he must have built hospital for some people suffering. Maybe in one lifetime he would have donated so much money to some people. So in that way he must have did so much. Uh, he acquired so much pious activity. What what he was thinking? Maybe this will help him to get good life in future. His activities will help him to go him to heavenly planets, enjoy and all. Maybe he was thinking like that, but little did he know that after 50 lifetimes he will go to severe suffering because of this pious activities. So if we do austerity for our body or without putting Krishna in center, maybe it will create some pious credit. But what do we know whether it will give us happiness or suffering? Pious credit does not guarantee us happiness. From the life past life of Dhritarashtra Maharaj, we come to know that because we don't just do pious activity alone. We must have done so many bad karmas, so many bad activities without our knowledge. And to fructify that bad activities, these pious activities are like a fuel. If we don't have these pious activities, maybe that bad activity will not rectify. But we need this much pious activity for that bad activity, bad karma to fructify. So this pious activity is acting like a fuel to our bad karma. So, but if and only if we do any activity putting Krishna in center, that will become a karma. Austerity will also become a karma, and everything will become a karma. And what a karma do? It will just burn away good and bad activity, and we'll go back to Godhead. So that is what I wanted to speak today. Whatever I thoughts I got, I just wanted to speak. If there are any corrections, please correct me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this wonderful explanation about Mother Devothi's austerities, quoting beautiful examples from scriptures. That if this austerity is not done for the pleasure of Krishna, how it can actually take us far, far away from Krishna. It's wonderful, Prabhu. I'm personally struggling when it comes to austerity. So you shared a beautiful example. At the stage of neophyte devotee, we may not be able to perform austerities, but when we grow in bhakti, we should definitely work on that piece, Prabhu. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful point. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Whatever I heard from all you devotees, I spoke, Prabhuji. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. If no one has anything to add or correct, then we'll end here. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Ananta koti vaishnavinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'm ending here. Hare Krishna.
Rohininandan Prabhu
Thank you,
ki
Raghunandan Prabhu. Jai. Thank you,
Dandavat.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare